Hey everyone! Today we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating mysteries of the Monsterverse. Where does Godzilla store all that insane radiation? And why doesn't he just melt from the inside out? I mean, this guy swims through nuclear reactors, breathes atomic fire, and shrugs off missiles like they're confetti. So how does he handle all that energy without turning into a walking Chernobyl? Buckle up, because we're about to break down the science, the lore, and some wild theories that might just blow your mind. In the ever-expanding Monsterverse, Godzilla stands as the undisputed king of the Titans. His iconic roar echoes across continents, and his atomic breath can obliterate entire armies. Yet behind this staggering power lies an equally staggering question. Where does Godzilla store all of his radiation, and why doesn't he burn himself from the immense radiological energy he carries? In this script, we will explore the science-fictional biology, the cinematic lore, and the thematic symbolism that explain Godzilla's extraordinary ability to harness and contain nuclear energy without succumbing to its destructive force. First, let's talk about what we know about Godzilla's connection to radiation. In the Monsterverse, Godzilla isn't just resistant to radiation, he thrives on it. He's basically a living nuclear reactor. But how? Well, according to the lore, Godzilla and the other Titans are ancient creatures that evolved in a time when Earth was filled with natural radiation. Over millions of years, their bodies adapted to not just survive it, but to use it as a power source. To understand where Godzilla stores his radiation, we must first revisit his origin story. In the Monsterverse, Godzilla is often described as a prehistoric alpha predator that existed long before humanity discovered nuclear power. His initial encounter with radiation comes in the form of natural geothermal vents and cosmic radiation. Over millions of years, his cells evolved to utilize radioactive isotopes for metabolic processes, much like plants use sunlight in photosynthesis. This adaptation laid the groundwork for his unique physiology. In Godzilla, 2014, we see him feeding off nuclear submarines. In King of the Monsters, he gets supercharged by a nuke. And in Godzilla vs. Kong, he literally powers up by drilling into the hollow Earth's energy core. So clearly, radiation isn't just something he tolerates, it's his food. Okay, so if Godzilla runs on radiation, where does he store it all? And why doesn't it cook him alive? Let's break it down biologically. At the heart of Godzilla's radiation storage are specialized organelles within his cells, known as radiocysts. These microscopic sacs function like miniature nuclear reactors, encasing radioactive isotopes such as uranium-238 and a fictional heavy isotope dubbed G-ion. Unlike conventional radioactive decay, which emits energy chaotically, Godzilla's radiocysts channel decay energy in a controlled manner, converting it into bioelectricity. This process powers his muscular strength, regenerative abilities, and, most spectacularly, his atomic breath. First, his spines. Those glowing dorsal plates aren't just for show, they're like biological heat sinks and energy conductors. When he's charging up, they glow because radiation is being channeled through them, almost like a circulatory system for nuclear energy. Second, his cells. Real-world organisms called extremophiles can survive insane conditions, like radioactive waste. Now, imagine a creature that evolved over millions of years to not just survive radiation, but metabolize it. Godzilla's cells likely convert radiation into usable energy, similar to how plants use photosynthesis, except instead of sunlight, it's gamma rays. One might wonder, if radioactive materials are stored within Godzilla's body, why doesn't his own physiology get damaged? The answer lies in his gamma-fused endoskeleton. Through eons of evolution, Godzilla's bones have incorporated gamma-irradiated ceramic crystals that are highly resistant to radiation damage. These crystals form a lattice that shields his tissues from harmful emission. In effect, his skeleton acts like a Faraday cage for radiation, absorbing and redistributing stray particles so they never accumulate in sensitive areas. Now here's where things get really interesting. The Monsterverse introduces the Hollow Earth, a hidden world filled with exotic energy. And guess what? That's probably Godzilla's natural habitat. Godzilla's scaly hide plays a crucial role in managing his internal radiation levels. Embedded within his dermis are dermal exchangers, specialized glands that vent excess radiation in the form of low-level heat and luminescence. In scenes where Godzilla's dorsal plates glow blue or white, we witness these exchangers actively releasing surplus energy to maintain homeostasis. This constant radiative cooling prevents thermal overload and keeps his core temperature stable, ensuring he doesn't overheat or suffer radiation burns. In Godzilla vs. Kong, we see Godzilla recharging at an ancient temple powered by a massive energy source. This implies that titans like him are designed to tap into planetary-scale radiation reserves, so when he's low on energy, he might be storing excess radiation in specialized organs, like a nuclear battery, or even venting it safely through his spines. Alright, the big question. Why doesn't Godzilla just explode from all that radiation? Well, 3 reasons. Advanced cellular shielding. His cells might have natural shielding, like lead-lined tissue, to prevent radiation damage. Energy conversion. Instead of letting radiation decay his body, he converts it into usable power, like a bioreactor. Heat regulation. His dorsal plates might act like cooling towers, dissipating excess heat so he doesn't overheat. Think of it like this. Godzilla isn't just holding radiation, he's processing it. His body is a perfect, self-sustaining nuclear ecosystem. The monster's signature weapon, atomic breath, is a spectacular demonstration of his radiocyst technology. When Godzilla fires his beam, nerve impulses trigger the rapid fission of isotopes within select radiocysts located in his throat and dorsal spines. The released energy is then funneled through his laryngeal canal and focused by crystalline membranes to produce the intense blue plasma beam that can level mountains. Because this process is precisely regulated, Godzilla avoids accidental discharges that could harm his own tissues. Now, could this actually work in real life? Well, kinda. There are organisms like Dinococcus radiodurans that can survive insane radiation, and theoretically, a creature could evolve to metabolize radioactive energy, but it'd take millions of years and a very different evolutionary path. Further enhancing his capacity, Godzilla's thoracic cavities contain large reservoir sacs known as thoracocysts. These function as backup storage for surplus isotopes and energy. During prolonged engagements or periods of radiation scarcity, he can draw from these reserves to maintain peak performance. In the Monsterverse narrative, scenes of Godzilla resting atop volcanic islands or within deep ocean trenches suggest he uses these locations to recharge his thoracocysts via natural geothermal radiation. So yeah, while we're not going to see real-life Godzillas anytime soon, the science behind him is surprisingly plausible. Beyond the pseudoscience, radiation serves as a thematic element in Godzilla's character. He is often portrayed as the Earth's response to human nuclear hubris. His harnessing of radiation symbolizes nature's capacity to adapt and survive human-inflicted wounds. By containing and releasing nuclear energy at will, Godzilla reminds us of the double-edged sword of atomic power. Destructive when mishandled, but harnessable for incredible feats when understood. Despite his dominance, Godzilla is not invincible. Overuse of atomic breath can deplete his radiocyst reserves, leaving him temporarily weakened. Extended exposure to antimatter or exotic particles, such as those wielded by Ghidorah, can disrupt his gamma-fused skeleton, causing fractures in the protective lattice. Additionally, if his dermal exchangers are blocked by mud or debris, he risks heat stroke and radiation sickness until he clears the blockage. When pitted against other titans, Godzilla's radiological prowess gives him a distinct edge. In battles with King Ghidorah, for instance, his ability to absorb Ghidorah's energy attacks and redirect them highlights the flexibility of his isotopic storage. His regenerative shields him from the three-headed dragon's lightning strikes, showcasing how radiocysts and repair cells work in concert to neutralize foreign energies. Speculation abounds about how Godzilla's radiation management might evolve. The Monsterverse's upcoming exploration of Hollow Earth suggests that deeper geothermal and radiological sources could augment his power. If Godzilla ventures into these depths, his thoracocysts might undergo a metamorphosis, adapting to even higher isotope densities and unlocking new abilities beyond atomic breath. Now let's get wild with some fan theories. Theory 1. Godzilla's second brain, referencing the Showa era, helps regulate radiation. Theory 2. He burns off excess energy in fights, which is why he's stronger after battles. Theory 3. The Hollow Earth's energy is alive, and Godzilla is symbiotically linked to it. Godzilla's mastery over radiation stems from a convergence of fictional evolutionary biology and metaphorical storytelling. His radiocysts, gamma-fused skeleton, dermal exchangers, and regenerative systems form an integrated suite of adaptations that store, regulate, and deploy nuclear energy without self-destruction. Cinematically, these mechanisms translate into awe-inspiring visuals and thematic resonance, reinforcing Godzilla's role as nature's titan and a cautionary emblem of atomic power. As the Monsterverse continues to expand, so too will our understanding of the King of the Monsters and the remarkable ways in which he commands the very energy that once threatened to undo him. What do you think? Drop your theories below. So, there you have it. Godzilla's body is basically the ultimate nuclear power plant. He stores radiation in his spines, converts it into energy, and vents the excess safely. And thanks to millions of years of evolution, he doesn't just survive radiation, he rules it. If you enjoyed this deep dive, smash that like button, subscribe, and let me know which Monsterverse mystery I should tackle next. Until then, stay atomic and I'll see you in the next video.